Alrighty, boys, we got ourselves the first duel of the day over in EU. We got with Team X8. What's up, X8? How you doing, my guy? Who you got on your team overall? We got X8. We got ourselves good spec. We got with the red pally. We got Luddy. We got ourselves Peligore playing some, I want to say elemental. Yeah, looks like it. And Poe playing more assassination on the team blue. We got ourselves Kreiser. What is this mug? That's a little bit weird and different looking. I'll take it though. We got ourselves Christina playing some Feral, Toku playing some, I don't even know what, survival? I want to say survival. Wolfheart a little more survival. And Zakati, my man, how you doing, my dude? Good luck and have fun, everybody. We'll see how it's gonna go with us. X8, who's gonna be going up on your team first, man? It looks like it might be is you or Good Spec. Looks like Good Spec is getting ready. Nope, gonna be X8. First of all, as an assassination rogue, first duel of the day. Good luck, everybody, and have fun. We'll see how this one goes, boys. Zakati made it? Okay, perfect. Well, Chrysler was in a group, I guess, or whatever. It's gonna be Toko actually finding X8 out of nowhere. He's gonna check out a cheap shot. Immediately gonna go with the stun of the pet stun. Trying to see if he can maximize the damage. It's gonna be Shadow Step Kidney. Full Vendetta coming out onto Toko. How is he gonna deal with it? Gonna get himself a pet defensive rolling. Pet sack is up and running for him right now. X8 has evasion rolling. Trying to see if he can get some more damage into Toko. Toko, why he's got a Toko? It's gonna be playing the weapon from the raid. Let's see how strong it is, because it did nerf it by 50%. Maybe this weapon will still be busted. We have no guarantee. X8 though is not looking that hot. Has a bunch of dots on him right now. Is going to vanish with a Crimson Vial. That's going to be Toko clearing off all those dots. Could have sent the pet after the rogue, but that's going to be a very interesting setup here. The weapon should have been nerfed, and it was nerfed. But how nerfed? That is the main question. You make yourself a pretty good team, which is why we always say, get us variety in here, boys. Tricky coming out of X8 immediately off of that stun. Does land a cheap shot onto Toku. Does X8 go for any damage? It's going to be Killer Shot coming out. As Toku does get that shield. We'll see if that shield is any strong. We'll find out by the end of this duel. Toku is trying to go for that eagle sweep, trying to send the eagles flying at X8 as some Lord of the Rings play, but X8 doesn't look like that's good. That's going to be Cloak Shot is coming out. Is he going to be able to do anything? He does get a blind onto the pet. That's going to be Warlock Stone coming out as he's pressured by all the dots. Crows are just doing work on him. Grenade eating up through him. Does land a kidney onto Toku. Does he go for a heal? Doesn't have a lot of health to work with, and Toku barely survives it, sitting at about half health. Mana manages to follow. That is going to be the next rogue. Poe coming out with a stab. It's going to be instant tricking for Toku. Not really sure if that's exactly what he should have done, but that's going to be Poe fully geared up, ready to go. Full cooldowns available. Chicken coming out for Toku. Or no, not a chicken, but that's going to be Maledic onto Poe right now, to Toku right now with a turtle shell. Poe just trying to burn as much damage to him with a massive vendetta. Hopefully it's not going to be a flare coming down. The flare does come out for Toku. Does Poe get back in there? No, he actually lands himself a camo for a moment. The dots get him out though. The rogue does interrupt him being able to clean himself with bandages. Look like bandages, maybe get one tick in there, so the dots should be off. Toku is going to be popping some cooldowns off on Poe, actually trying to get back in there, trying to get counteractive. That's going to be Kidney Shot coming down onto Toku. Does Poe have enough to end him though? Marvelous Venom does come out. It looks like the shield from the weapon wasn't quite enough to keep him afloat the whole time. We are seeing the shield appear, and it seems to do some healing, but it seems to have a much more nerfed effect from before. Zakati is going to be up next. That's not an all. That's going to be Poe with a safety trick coming out. Does land a kid on Zakati. It's going to be Lichborn breaking him out of another stun. Poe is he going to go for a Shadow Step? Zakati is not sure, so he's just going to sit on the other side of the pillar. That's going to be a Warlock also coming out off of that Maledic. Does get himself a heal rolling as well. So Poe is staying afloat just by a little bit. It's going to try to shadow some Zakati, but Zakati is not going to be caught out in a bad situation. It is going to necrotic down Poe's health. Barely has anything, and the pets do take him out fairly efficiently. That's going to be good spec up next as a Regiment Paladin. Big wings coming out. Execution set is flying. Trinkets out of that stone. That's going to be Zakati. Going to go for Chance Fusion. Not going to happen with this big old bopper rolling. Zakati does AMS. The Maledic, though, as necrotic still do come up for him. It looks like the Maledic wasn't AMS fast enough. Did approach it a little bit late. but it still had it for whatever damage that Goodspec had out. And Goodspec is just popping up more damage. It's going to be a massive shield event. It looks like the shield might have actually popped on everybody and split the damage. So Zacati running into the group actually did avoid a bit of that single target AoE pressure. There's going to be another set of wings coming up for Goodspec, and Zacati does go for that Lichborn. Actual pressure in Goodspec right now, but Zacati's still doing pretty bad on health. Might have to go for massive heal. Bubble cell available for Goodspec if he ever needs. So safety trick and hold him afloat, but his necrotics are slowly creeping in. Is he going to bubble this as he's sitting in the sun? Does get a bubble out. Does Zacati survive this? Decide to sit and wait until he had his death pack. Decide to burn it a little bit late though. Is gonna get a redot and a reslow into Goodspec as he's gonna bail out of there. Hand of Freedom coming out pretty early. Wants to get himself a lot of healing. Is gonna go for a Sanctuary. So Zacati needs to hold off on his stun for a little bit longer. Zacati is just biding his time though. Won't have a stun for quite a while though, because Goodspec did bubble out that stun. So I'm gonna say 20 more seconds or so. It's gonna be Zacati pre-AMS to all this damage as he's trying to turn this around. Does he the execute sentence into the AMS? I wonder if the debuff still stays though. Goodspec is looking pretty bad right now on his damage. Doesn't have wings for a while. Might have the minute-long wings coming up very soon against Zacati though, but we'll see in just a bit. Minute-long wings do come out. Does get into the stun though. No way out of this. Does he get strangulated into a Maledict to execute him? And Zacati obliterates him out of the picture. Next up is going to be a Pelago though, trying to get that slow. Doesn't want to align this, doesn't want to get in line inside of Zacati. Doesn't want to get gripped out of position. Does get gripped in a weird spot. Is going to get a massive knockback onto Zacati. Is he going to run? He is trying to use his Worgen Rachel to get up close and personal with Pelagor. Is going to Lichborn out of that stun though. Pelagor is going to have to go for back-to-back stuns like that with his Lightning Lasso. Try to see if he can get a Stormkeeper out. As Zacati is trying to be proactive, there's going to be a bunch of necrotics stacking up. About half his health is necrotic out as he's firing back Earth Shocks and zaps Zacati. He does have a lot of healing rolling right now with that transfusion. Pelagor's health does somehow get out of all of that necrotics, but still in a dire situation. Zacati does have a lot of pressure on Pelagor right now. Lightning Lasso, trinkets out of it. Gonna have a Lichborn for the next one, and that was just not enough play for Pelagor. Didn't get a setup he wanted. Luddies are gonna be up next with Zacati completely drained of all the cooldowns. That's going to be Immolate to come down on him. That's going to immolate on the pet as well, as Letty wants to get as much resource generation going. Zacati is going to have a whole Infernal coming down. Does get to interrupt at Casbo with his pet. Interrupt the Shadow, the Fear. That's going to be stunned onto Letty, and Zacati is going to bail down to the lower side of the pillar. Is Letty going to chase after him? Needs to get the pets over there onto Zacati. Zacati just waiting out for cooldowns, waiting out for AMS. Has a bunch of pets with Infernal and the Succubus pinstering them behind the wall, and Letty is still trying to walk his way over there. Is going to throw down Rain of Fire just to get the next chaos most empowered. Why he's got the resource for it. There's going to be the Infernal coming down. Luddy no longer has the massive bursts. Does still have his big cooldowns? No, use everything there. That's going to be an interrupt by Zacati off of that Lichborn. Has the Army of the Dead joining him. Horror effect to walk him in the other direction. Does interrupt that stun, that Casbo with a short stun. That Casbo's still gonna fly though. Zacati is gonna have a Sage Ticket and AMS rolling, trying to go for as much healing as humanly possible. The Army of the Dead does implode on Luddy. That's going to be a Fear trying to come out. Not going to happen. Does get in trouble with the pets. The Caswell still comes out. Luddy can finish him off. He can end him right now. Pet Succubus CC comes out for a moment. Does get interrupted on Shadow. That's going to be Chaos Bolt damage trying to come out. Zacati is going to go for the Death Pack. Trying to sacrifice a portion of his health. Doesn't want to get hit with a Fear. Maybe he's going to go for the Grip. Does go for the Grip. Going to get the dots rolling. Get the Luddy. And he's going to run away. Can Luddy catch up to Zacati? He can't heal himself for quite a bit. No Transfusion going to help this out for quite a while. Can Luddy and this Transfusion coming out. That's going to be a horror effect though. With a Maledict fall on Zacati. No way out of this. Fear took him out. Doesn't land. Does land into Incinerates though. Doesn't have the big Casbo. Incinerates aren't breaking the Fear though. Lichborn comes out for Zacati. Barely the health. Looks like that Immolate is going to melt him. Luddy played it out and did obliterate Zacati at the very end. Zacati played it tooth and nail. Fought it out to the very dire end, chat. Oh, by the way, chat, let me do this so you guys can see the, yeah, let me do that so you guys can see that a little bit better. I can even, like, move that group a little bit. There we go. You guys can see the Hellbars a little better. Luddy has a bit of shield. Chrysler is going to give him the honor duel, it looks like. If Luddy can be allowed to drain life an ally of Chrysler to get full health, because he almost has full cooldowns, that would be pretty dope. Is Chrysler going to allow it, man? Who's going to make it? Immolate coming out for Chrysler. The duel is off. It's going to be shot of Fear for Luddy off the bat. Chrysler getting stunned up in the opener. Double Immolate coming out onto both Chrysler and his pet. Chrysler sending over his pet over to Luddy, and Luddy does trade out the pets as well. Banish coming out for Luddy's pet. It's going to be Chrysler actually bailing in there with a Warlock gate. We're going to drop down big damage. Big cannons coming out. Does actually trinket himself out of whatever CC Luddy threw at him, which I think was a Fear. Luddy's going to go for a wall. He's going to get his own Infernal in there. Chrysler does have his cooldowns rolling a little bit early. Banish coming in onto the pet. Resetting it. Is going to interrupt Luddy's banishment with a stun. Another Chaos Bolt smacking him down. Does interrupt Luddy as it tries to banish the pet. Instead of interrupting him on damage, he's just going to interrupt him on the banner so the pet can stay in there. Horror Effect coming down on Chrysler. Finally, Luddy can turn this around with his Chaos Bolts. That's going to be Maledicт for Chrysler. Another Fear to throw him in into another Chaos Bolt. Second trinket coming out. Luddy has a fair amount of health. Some of it is necrotic down, but he's doing just fine. Is going to drop down, drain life off of Chrysler's pet. And Chrysler and Luddy both have very similar health, but I think Chrysler still has a lot of cooldowns to work with. Is going to throw Luddy into a Fear chain, but that Chaos Bolt getting locked out by the pet. Luddy actually trinkets out of it and gets locked out on his own Chaos Bolt. Immolate coming down for Chrysler. Does he get it? Does get that Chaos Bolt. It's a Horror Effect, locking out that Fear into another Chaos Bolt. Immolate wombo combo to follow. Luddy is on life support right now. Barely has any health to work with his duel. Is going to go for a drain life, a desperate plea off the pet. And that's going to be nice conflag to set him ablaze. Very well done, boys. Zakani playing so well. He just tore these boys apart. But Zakani can't quite do anything against the Destro Warlock, man. Destro is just way too fucking strong right now. Fun tip, you need to drain life HP to heal. Can heal through shields?